Fossilis?
Not Fossilis.
It's Fossilis?
It's not Fossilis, it's Fossilis.
Fossilis.
Fossil-is. Not Fossilis.
All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Justin, and this is...
Max, and this is another review for Justin and Max games. And in this episode, we're going to be reviewing Fossilis.
Fossilis. And Fossilis, when you first put the game together, it's not complicated. You get to use a board and this can you get the little plastic thing? And you put all of the bones. It comes with lots of little teeny bones.
We'll show some pictures of
We'll show some pictures of those, yes. And then you put it on in this nice display, and you shake it up so that you don't know where they are.
And you put like tiles on them.
You put these tiles to make it like you're an archaeologist out in a zone of discovery. That's what I'm going to call it.
Zone of discovery. I like it. I would go with like quarry or something.
A quarry, sure, that's probably a better idea.
I like zone of discovery better.
And you and your competitors will be trying to move stones around and dig up stuff, and then try to find, using these very cool tweezers.
So you don't bump the rest of the board.
So you don't bump the rest of the board, exactly right. And the pieces are small.
You need the tweezers.
And when I first look at the game, when you first put the whole thing together, and there's all of these really nice, beautiful, solid tiles, and these aren't stickers on them showing these icons. These are, burnt on or however they do it. The production value is beautiful.
Oh, yes.
And the instruction booklet is very easy to understand. And the way that you move characters and the way that you push the various land elements around has a chart in here, and it's extremely easy to understand what you have to do. And when I first looked at it all together, I said, oh my gosh, is this a kid's game?
It looks like a kid's game.
It looks like a kid's game, but it's not a kid's game. It's not a kid's game. And we have a few games that have sort of a...
kind of feel, and have ways to be adapted to be a kid's game.
Absolutely.
Which this one does. But
yes, this could be a family.
The are very intriguing and
yes, and very competitive.
Very competitive, yes.
And I love the fact that every single card
is different.
Yeah, there's no duplicates. You have just this plethora of dinosaur and other
marine flying reptiles. And then there's an Ice Age expansion.
Ice Age expansion, which came in the game, and you're trying to find elements that will help you contribute to a museum, I suppose, being an archaeologist, various elements.
So you're digging up bones, and then you're going to assign bones to different dinosaurs, and then you can wait till you have enough bones to complete the dinosaur to get a bonus, or you can score them right away and not full value. And what we have discovered that you probably should score them right away.
So let me first start with the positives of the game. It moves along very fast.
Yes, it's a very quick game. And even if it's not, it feels very quick.
It feels very quick. You get 4 actions on a turn, and you could use them in different ways, and it feels like your turn is coming again very quickly. Now, we played three-player game 3 times, and you can play up to 5, I think.
Yes.
And I don't know what would this be like with 2. And the timing mechanism in the game is how much plaster is available for each round.
So there will always be 12.
In a 3-player game.
Plaster. Or there'll be 4 plaster per player.
Right.
And there's a variant to make it a little bit longer, which is 5 plaster.
5 plaster per people.
Which is what we did, and it didn't feel that much longer.
No, and it felt a little bit more successful.
It's like, hey, we got to do a little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit more.
It didn't feel like, oh, it's longer. It's, hey, we got to do more.
Exactly. And you can buy, depending on the various land tiles that you move around, and if they fall off the board, you claim them, which allows you to buy supplies or tools, and some of them have points on them.
Shovel, or a jackhammer.
Or a jackhammer, depending on what it is.
Or you could even get virtual bones.
Yes, and that's very nice. Now, Max, you were saying, because you're very interested in, paleontology and things like this. You said that normally in a museum, most of the dinosaurs are incomplete anyway.
Yeah. It's very rare to find even remotely complete skeleton, and so the museum itself will probably only have a third or less of each given dinosaur. So it's not unusual. The theme is correct, where it's not unusual that you will put up a dinosaur with just a hip and a leg bone.
Right. So the theme comes through in the way the game is played, but you were getting so the issue I have with the game And I've tried now 3 different ways. I've tried to focus on completing dinosaurs while getting some cards and finishing some semi. I've played where I've done everything semi.
You've done a little bit of everything.
Yeah, what I call partial completions.
And then this game, you did just a decent amount of dinosaurs, but then you focused heavily on cards.
Right, so I had probably more cards than I had dinos. I had like 6 dinos, and then maybe like 11
you had
cards.
21 points from cards.
21 points from cards. And you can get some special abilities if you find these little pickaxes.
They're a little bit okay.
Yeah, they're okay. I think they're good enough that it gives you a power.
But
But
the only way that we have discovered to win is just take one bone and score whatever dinosaur requires that one bone just for those points.
yeah.
Which I got like 9 bones, so I scored 9 dinosaurs, and then I won by nearly double.
Well, not nearly double. I had 116. You had 166.
I lapped you.
Yeah, but the second game, this last game,
Either way,
yeah,
it
wasn't horrifying.
It's the only way to win, basically.
Yeah, the main way that I think that this game works in terms of the rule set that is in the game. Yes, if you complete a dinosaur, you get a bonus.
But it's not.
The bonus isn't nearly because it takes
the bonus of an extra 6 points is not worth getting like another 3 symbols on 2 other cards.
Right, because
symbols.
you're collecting. You have basically a set collection of symbols, and at the end of the
no matter
game,
how many bones are on it, it always is 3. And if you send 3 bones for 3 things, you could have gotten 9 instead.
oh yeah, easily.
Or like 6 less points. Which
Right,
is
and
much more.
you're spending a lot of actions to try to get plaster, even if you get some of the
you're
bonuses.
spending like 3 turns to get 1 dinosaur, or you're spending 2 turns to get 3 dinosaurs.
Right,
For more points.
there's no way that now to me it's a lot of fun that you get to collect all of these dinosaurs and go get. But to me, I wasn't even really. I mean, maybe you were considering it a little bit more. If I had a tooth, I'd look at and I go, oh, that one has a tooth. I'd grab that dino.
If there was only one,
since I had nothing in the lab ever.
like if there was only one out there with that bone that I just take, then I would consider it. Or if there was only one, then I'd just take it. But if there was a couple, I'd figure out which symbols I had, which ones I didn't have.
Because you get the end game bonuses
are huge.
are enormous. Yes, like if you didn't have the symbols on the cards, then I could see forgetting about that whole part of the game.
Or if there was 2 symbols, or if there was 1 symbol per bone on the card. And
yes.
You get the amount of symbols as the amount of bones you spend.
That's interesting. That gets complicated. Which symbols do you get and so forth. But yeah, the fact that 1 bone will get you 3 symbols.
And 3 bones will still.
And at the end of the game, the bonus points are not small.
Because like if you have like 3
clouds,
that gets you 7 points. Which is more than the value of completing 1 dinosaur.
Right.
And you might as well just get 3 separate dinosaurs that all involve clouds.
Unless they make a modification where there's a different chart of bonuses or something different, to me the strategy is more or less a little bit aggressive. It amps the aggression. Because in the game, you can push other people off the board.
So it's either staying near a square that has a lot of bones in it, or preventing other people from staying near a square that has a lot of bones in it.
Right. Now, we used a few of the expansions that come with. We had the Kickstarter edition, so it came with some expansions.
So we used the Ice Age little board.
The Ice Age little board.
Where you dig up ice, and then it increases a multiplier, which just seemed too random, and you could spend 1 bone for 15 points randomly.
Yeah, so this one was out of whack for us, but we did like the animals that come with the game.
So we just shuffled them into the rest of the deck.
Which is the other way you could play that expansion.
And then we just ignored the ice symbol on them.
Right.
And they gave us an extra symbol to kind of collect.
It gives you an extra symbol. Then we tried the Scorpion expansion, which was more aggressive against other people.
It didn't really do much. It attacked 1 person once, and otherwise just sat there and looked cool.
Yeah, so maybe you just have it as a first player token or something?
Or just have it out on the board, and every turn you just move it somewhere else.
Because it's difficult to get that Scorpion to move, because you have to have...
because it's only a specific move set. When you buy a card, which is already not too often, then it's got to go directly...
Yeah, it's a little bit. It doesn't work so much.
It's very rare that it'll actually work, and when it does, it's not a huge.
So I like the base game as is with the Ice Age expansion in the deck. I'm not crazy about the Scorpion one, but overall, the experience of playing the game now that I know really how to push and pull the game, and if you see someone getting too many cards, that's the person you go after. You push them off, you push them off, you throw them into a hole, you crush them, do whatever you have to do to get that. Well, actually, you can't crush the guys in this game because it just pops up. Get a few cards when needed, but try to get one bone in
So what are
scorecards.
you gonna rate it?
So here's an old person. I'm not old, but I am old enough that I really, I mean, you can't see through it, I'd have to constantly do this.
Which is why I'm always just standing up announcing whatever's in these.
Max says, "What's in these various
Like, there's
locations?"
a tooth, a skull, and a hammer.
So then I go, all right, I need this much plaster for that thing. I'm right next to it, and then I sometimes have to ask Max, "Oh, what was in that thing again?" But sometimes you can kind of see a little bit of reflection. So because of that, it makes it a little bit less like easy for me to play
They should have
because
little
I'm
mi-
just not.
They should have
I just
little
can't
mi-
keep
they
doing
should have
that.
mirrors in all of them.
Mirrors, like the super deluxe expansion has like mirrors. Wait a minute, a mirror overhead. A mirror overhead that you can see. You can just look up and
This
see what's in there.
Okay, what do you rate it? What do you rate it?
Because the fact that I can't see more than one
Strategy,
strong
yeah.
strategy. I was originally around an 8.5 with
Which is
it,
where I was.
and then now I'm around a 7.
I was around a 6.5 now.
Really? Because you loved this game
I
when we
love
first
this game,
played
but
it.
then I'm like, there's only one strategy, and it got boring after a while. If that
So
makes any sense.
maybe if we play again, and Mom and I are more aware that the
Because I literally just sat there like, bone dinosaur, bone dinosaur, bone dinosaur, I win. That's
right,
really all I did.
and I kept on saying, "Oh, maybe my cards there'll be enough points on these cards," but there just wasn't.
And your cards were probably what I got from like 3 of these.
Right, and the
It's just
cards.
this is just way too many points.
There's too many points in the
And 2 little points on these.
right.
Like if these were like 4 instead, if these were like double all their points.
Right, because anytime you buy supplies, rarely are there any points
You'll
on
get
them.
like 2 or 3.
Right, and that's you're
at
using
most.
you're using action points to push off stuff.
And then to get 2 points. Or you can spend action points to get plaster. To get a bone. To get 4 points and 3 symbols.
I still enjoy the whole experience of pushing, and
It's very interesting.
yes, it's very interesting and it's beautiful, and just a little disappointed in the fact that there is, for me, only one real good strategy through the game. But nonetheless,
6.75.
you're 6.75.
No,
I'm
I'm
around.
not 6.5. You were at 7, so 6.75.
I'm gonna go up to 7.5 just to get it at a 7 rating.
7 rating. I think 7 is a good rating.
Okay, so 7 is our official rating for Justin and Max games on
Fossilis.
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 Max went and he's doing some other things now, but I did have some other ideas that I just wanted to throw in. One was, it says 8 and up, and I think that's about right. I think that this would be a great introduction for kids, maybe that you have that really are interested in archaeology and paleontology and things like this, to almost get that sense of finding and being able to understand. Because another thing I should have mentioned, that all of the cards, they have excellent descriptions of what the animals are all about. And I also have sort of a variant. I haven't thought it through entirely, but if you are playing with maybe some, like a kid group or something like that, instead of having a dinosaur display, just give everyone 5 dinosaurs or 5 animals, and then they have to try to find bones that go along with them. Maybe they have a laboratory display or something. Forget about the end game bonuses and sort of make it a race. Who can get the most bones by the time the end of the game is, that kind of go with your dinosaurs. And the other thing that was a little bit that we thought about a little bit was the fact that there are skulls, which are a huge difficulty to get out of the ground, and they're worth a lot of points, but they don't go with any of the dinosaurs, so you just get points for them. You don't actually get any of the symbols. So there are, I don't know if it came in the base game or just one of the the Kickstarter, there's 2 blank cards where you can make your own dinos, and we're going to make dinosaurs that need the skulls. So game has a lot of potential for, I think, home variants. I get it. What do they call that? Home rules, right? To make the game maybe a little bit more tailored to your particular gaming group.